Remember, this has been undercover, so there'll be lots of random little insects living in here, or corpses of such. But yeah, that is one pretty seat. Beautiful. We're back in the car. Welcome back. We are in Bungay, Suffolk. Stunning part of Suffolk. Beautiful place. Lovely little country lanes. A rainy day. And with the heat we've had, it's nice to feel a little bit of rain. You've seen the thumbnail. 40 years stood. It's moved house various times. It belonged to a gentleman's mother. He remembers it from the late 60s. Yeah. Moulton midi. Similar to the Rally RSW. Small wheel. What a cracking bike. 40-year dust. All original. And it's a nice little change from the rallies. I can't always bring you guys the BMX, the chopper. Sometimes you got to think out of the box. But I love saving bikes. I love original paint. Original dust. It can't stay dusty. We got to get it cleaned up. We got to assess it and see what's wrong. But it's a beautiful survivor. Moulton midi. Let's get on with it. Just before I go home and get it cleaned up, I thought I'd show you it. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. I'd say what I love about the midis and the Moultons especially is this massive chainring, almost the same size as the wheels. Unfortunately, it's raining. Although I said in the intro, I love the rain, but it's washing off that dust. Moulton midi. Moulton. What a stunning, beautiful bike. We got a 3-speed Sturmy Archer hub. Sadly, some chrome loss on the handlebars, but underneath here you've got that original seat there. Beautiful. It may need a new seat. Let's leave it on till I get home. But look at that stunning crankwork, the pedals, mud guards. It's all here. I love this part of the design here. So you've got one straight bar from the rear mudguard all the way to midway through the frame. Absolutely incredible bike. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. 1969 or thereabouts. Let's get it home. I want to try and preserve that dust. Let's do a nice thumbnail shot in front of this stunning field. For the viewers from outside the UK, look, Norfolk Suffolk border, literally middle of nowhere. Beautiful. And what better way to compliment a lovely field of that colour is a stunning late 60s Moulton. Let's get it home and get it assessed. So we're back home, and the Moulton is back home, and I love it. Like I said, let's get it assessed, put some oil on those nuts and bolts, try and free up those gears and just see where this video takes us. And at some point I will cut off and explain what the next procedure is. Let's do it. So underneath this stunning rust is the green. Original green. Obviously I'm keeping it original. I'm not a paint sprayer, but I'm going to try and get this rust off. And it will come off. I sprayed on a bit of GT85 there just to loosen it up. But yeah, crank seized. Let's just try and get this. Ah, yes. Hang on. Straight in. What a result. Let's turn it over. But before we turn it over, let's get our seat cover off, because this I'm going to find fascinating. So, quick recap. Purchased it from the gentleman's wife. His mother had it in the 60s. He was born in 1960. He remembers his mother riding it in the late 60s. So I'm going to think 1969. Obviously the date is on that back wheel. I can't access that date yet, so I clean it up. But I'm interested to see that seat. See what that's like. Whoa, look at that. Beautiful seat. I know that would be a spider of some sort that will jump out. Wow, look at that. Absolutely stunning. So nice to get his seat cover off. God, look at that. That is absolutely stunning. And it's a bit crispy. It's very crispy, but there's a bit of wax on there. Bit of softening up. Let's just try a bit of GT85 on that leather. Oh, that's going to come up lovely. 1960s Moulton seat. How nice is that? Is it a Brooks? Is it a Brooks? I can't even see what it says. Don't know, but we'll have a look later. But yeah, that seat is off now. We know it's correct to the bike. Let's turn it over and try and get that crank moving. We can now access that seat, and it is very crispy. Very crispy indeed. I don't think that seat cover's done it any favours, with the greatest respect. But we'll see what we can save from this. Get our seat off, and give it a bit of love. All these springs need to be cleaned up and so on. But yeah, let's get this crank moving. It did move earlier, didn't it? But yeah, let's try and get it going. Some might say I'm using a lot of GT85 here, but remember, this hasn't moved for 40 years, this chain ring. So it needs plenty of freeing up. There is a slight kink in one of the chain linkages. There it is, you can see it there. Just there. Chain's a bit tight. I can zoom out a little bit. There we are. Just there. But yeah, the crank now turns fully. With 2 hands you can do it, but you saw on tripod, it spins freely. Let's get his wheels off and assess those hubs and the rims. Anybody got a gear cable for Moulton? I'll show you what's happened. So there we got a busted gear cable for Moulton, snapped off at that end. Removing the toggle chain, and it's snapped off from that end there. Damn! Damn, 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 damn. 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 Let's carry on. And that's the back wheel off. Beautiful back wheel. Nice and straight. Original tyres. And hopefully I'll get in that hub and see what day it is. But yeah. Nice old original wheel. Needs a really good clean up and strip down. Just clean up the cog. Obviously put a little screwdriver into there. Flick it up. Flathead screwdriver. Flick up that ring there. This bit comes out. The cog then lifts up. You can clean all around there with a brush and get right in that cog. Very easy job. Very dirty and oily. Worst case scenario is you get a little chip in your fingernail or your finger when you lift up that cog. Easy to get the cog out. You've got to use a bit of G-force to get it down again. Maybe a couple of fingers or a screwdriver or some sort of blunt instrument just to hook it back over that cog. And then you're there. So that's going to be cleaned up nice. But assessing the rear mud guards, I'm going for a new chain as well. But look at that stunning paintwork, look. Absolutely amazing. Mud guards just hook over on there, don't they? But yeah. Beautiful old Moulton. Look at that, look. The colour of that. It's absolutely stunning. Now the crank moves freely, as you know. The chain was, I said earlier, didn't I? The chain was a bit kinked. So we're going to get a new chain fitted. Going to get a new cable, a new gear cable fitted. And just keep seeing where the project takes us. You can see there it snapped off at the end, which is a damn shame. But I think handcrafted wheels, or Colin at Belton Bike Repairs. I'll be calling one of you guys up soon for a new gear cable on the Moulton. Yeah. Let's carry on with a clean up. And that's the front wheel off. Lovely and straight. Spins lovely. Which you probably can't tell from a camera angle, but yeah. Spins absolutely lovely. Gonna go over this with a bit of a wire wall and some cloth. Bit of chrome cleaner, auto sole. But yeah, you can see the hubs are in lovely condition on the front wheel at least. The rim, I'm not too sure about that, but I think with some wire wool that'll come up lovely. But it's like anything, you know, just get the wheels off, assess it. Mudguard here isn't the best light we can see, but mudguard's nice and straight. Going to get these brake calipers off now. Get a mudguard off. And just go through the frame. And once the bits are off it, and give it a really good clean, you can see already how lovely that paintwork is. If you go back to the thumbnail photo, which I'll put on screen now, you can see the difference in the green. So that's the front mudguard. And what absolutely stunning paintwork on that. Just needs a good old brush up, a good hard brush, hard bristle brush, and just bring back that beautiful paintwork on that mudguard. Stunning survivor. Moving down to the front caliper. I'll probably stick with the original brake cables because there's nothing wrong with them, but just give the calipers a good clean. But that chrome work is lovely underneath there. Strip the calipers down. Quite a straightforward process. If you're going to strip down a brake caliper, take a photograph of it beforehand so you know where all bits go, or film it. Film it on your phone, then go back to it when you rebuild it. But you got bolt there, bolt there, bolt there. That comes off. When these two springs are held on by their own force, then the two arms just come apart. Then you can clean everything up. But those forks there, you probably can't see it very well. Here you are. But there's a lot of debris, and just this is true barn dust. People say, well, keep it as it is. At some point, these bikes all get cleaned, yeah? It's lovely to witness that barn dust, that grime. I appreciate it very much. But for any usable old girl, you got to give it a wipe down. You can see that beautiful chrome under those forks there. Let's carry on with the process. But yeah, loving this little Moulton. What a stubborn old girl that is. Absolutely stubborn. But look at that front of that seat. That is lovely. Look at that, look. Beautiful chrome. Now we can assess that seat. Get it looked at. And what make is it? It's a Lyset. Remember, this has been undercover, so there'll be lots of random little insects living in here, or corpses of such. But yeah, that is one pretty seat. Beautiful. So just assessing the tyres, and we're going to need some new ones. So new tyres and obviously new tubes on these. What size they are, these wheels. Let's have a little look together. What size these wheels are. Dunlops, I imagine, or Michelin. Old school Michelin tyres. But I'll find the tyre size. They are made in England, which is useful because the best things are made in England, as you know. 175 BS rims, E2J. Hopkins cycles, or bankrupt bike parts, based in the UK. I'll jump on their website and order 2 new fresh tyres and obviously 2 new tubes with probably updated valves. It's going to go to either handcrafted wheels or Belton at Colin Bike Repairs for new gear cable, because that one sadly is perished, but obviously back tyre as well. That's probably just as buggered as the front. Let's have a look. Yeah, split. Totally. Now normally I like sort of like aged tyres, but when you've got a bike that you would probably, that the aim is to hopefully sell it on or use it, because I use the little OSW the other week for a little ride out and they're great fun. You want to get yourself a decent set of tyres normally, and even when you put air in them, they're no good. And when they're splitting like that and disintegrating, then you're going to get a nice fresh pair of boots. We're going to get that cog stripped down and get that cog cleaned up, so get the tyres off. But it's some good parts, I've kept all the little bits in my box down here, so I know where they are. I need to remove this back mudguard. A screwdriver in there. Let's just show you quickly. So a screwdriver in there. That is also the caliper, rear brake caliper. So a screwdriver in there, and underneath here you've got another little bolt. So screwdriver. So I need two hands, screwdriver, and then a pair of pliers to hold the nut when you screw the screwdriver to release. When that lifts out, then the rear mudguard is just hooked on. That just drops down, then rear mudguard off. I'll probably go with the existing bearings, but thing with these cotter pins here, isn't it? You've got to get those cotter pins out and God knows what else. But yeah, I might have a go, but certainly I love the patina of this frame. Get a frame all cleaned up. I wanted to show some obvious signs of wear, but I'm going to give it a good cut and polish. I want it, ideally I want elements of brown rust coming through the green paintwork, because that green paintwork is absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's stunning, as you can see by the mudguard. You know, a little brush and that must have come up lovely. Underneath there you can see, but yeah, lovely green, typical 1960s, 1970s colours from back in the day. Now it's all grey, isn't it? And greys and blues and dark browns, or not even brown, it's like blacks, isn't it? The bikes these days. I went into a cycle shop in Lincoln last weekend, and the colours of the bikes just like blacks and greys, but it's so lovely to see a lovely colour. For example, my Will cigarette sign there, the colours in that are stunning. But yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm going to go further with this, but I just wanted to make a start on it, document the start, and obviously there'll be a part 2, maybe a part 3, but for the time being I think I've done enough as I can on this video, because it's quite long. It's a, you know, the average view duration isn't as long as the videos, so I know that for a fact, because I check the analytics. But look at that crankwork there, look, that chainring. 70s, 60s engineering and design, beautiful, absolutely incredible. So I'll be doing a little bit off camera, tyres off, tubes out, give those rims a little clean up. Obviously you'll see all that sort of stuff next video. New gear cable fitted. Little bit of money to spend, didn't want to, but end of the day, it's a nice rare Moulton midi, saved. Not much more I can say apart from I love it. I'd appreciate you hit that subscribe button, like and comment, and yeah, mixed match. It's not always about the BMXs or burners. I do try. People said to me, when you get new burner content on, I can only film what I find, and what I find at an affordable, realistic price. Anybody can go out and buy a burner and just film it, but I like the survivors, yeah? And again, it's another survivor. Caddy content will come up when there's something to film. So all you guys who are here from a caddy, yeah, nice retro Moulton midi. I'll see you beginning of next week when we start to drill out the chopper city bar. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Just gonna give this frame a little clean up whilst we're here. We've got some nice hot soapy water. That's it. Just to see what you can now see, the Moulton midi. Beautiful. It seems to have lost its red graphics or decals, but gonna love getting its frame a bit greener. You can see there the elements of green coming through. Maybe clear lacquer after we've cleaned it up. But yeah, what a stunning bike. Absolutely love original paint. Even the chain ring, the plastic chain ring. Look at that, look. Gonna come up lovely. The chrome is good. All this here, get the brake blocks off. Yeah, lots to do. Lots of little bits off camera. But the main frame, I'm not gonna do, I don't think, headset, because these get stuck, don't they? I might have a go at it. I'm not too sure, but I believe some parts of a bike have to be kept original. And when I say that, I mean the bearings, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, nothing wrong with, if these handlebars still spin freely and move freely, why go to the effort of changing those bearings? If a crank spins freely and it doesn't, you know, sometimes it's best just to leave. But in terms of cleaning up the paintwork, that's absolutely fine. But I like things left and shown at age. You can tell these are original brake cables. If you zoom in there, you can see that little end bit there, that little pitching bolt, if you want to call it, little clip. Just moving these calipers together, they work lovely. There's no need to start ripping out brake cables. You've got the original ribs cable there. That all works lovely. You can see that going through the leverage up to the brake lever. These brakes are lovely. The same with the front one. Sit down there. The brakes are fine. So just work out what we need. Brakes are fine. Crank is fine. Bearings, a bit, you know, a bit oily, but they're original oil. They're not being touched since it was built in the 60s. No need to change them. New tyres, new tubes. Obviously, unfortunately, I need a new gear cable, but that's the way it go. Not a massive fix, maybe 20 quid fitted. Give someone a 10 quid half hour's labour and 10 quid for the gear cable. I'll put on screen now if I see any for sale on eBay. But look at this little back reflector. That one needs a good clean. You got this original housing there. But yeah, absolutely stunning. And that's all the mud and dirt off the Moulton. Yeah, original 1970s dirt. I'll put that in a jar.